I'm in Cameron, South Carolina, and I'm starting outside of the old Cullen and Rickenbaker dry goods store because I wanted to show this front facade and talk a little bit about how this in particular style was made by the George Mesker Ironworks Company that was in Evansville, Indiana. And I've done a few of these Mercantiles in the past and have found information, clues that showed that maybe some of this was coming in as a package, and then maybe some of these fixtures were built off-site and then came in. So here's the shelves that I've been talking about, and first glimpse looks like they were stick-built in here. However, if you look at how this shelf unit, which is a good 50 feet long, ends up in the wall down here, it looks to me like they made it just fit. That crown molding goes to the wall and the space is there, so this could have easily just been centered on a wall and had a finished off end and looked pretty good. The initial thought though was that it was being stick built is because it goes all the way to the end right here, but if you look at the original molding right here, it looks like they tacked some on and the moldings didn't quite match up here on the end. And so if you were to take this section out right here, the rest of this matches up. It has half round moldings on the front with a nailer on the back with square head masonry nails going into stucco and brick. And that top unit, the shelves is what I'm calling the top unit, looks like it detaches from the bottom counter portion with just toenails. And so I think what they would have done, we're really, really close to the railroad tracks right there. They could have very well brought this on a train. This base could have been separate from the top. Put the base in here. Maybe it separates right there. I don't think it does, though. I think it was 150-foot piece. And then you get this top portion on. The big question is how do you do that without this thing flexing? And this was built in 1916, and those guys knew how to move things without it breaking. So I don't really have the answer to how that was achieved, other than the fact that they probably had some sort of nailers on the front of this thing to help stabilize it. And so going from there to figure out now how to take it back down, I've taken a crowbar and I'm able to get behind these pieces on the back. And you can see that there's some gaps right there. And I went up on that one right there and was able to get a crowbar back under it. And when I put some pressure to it, the whole top section moved. And I feel like if I were to go in and get behind some of these boards all the way down, put some pressure on it, this whole top portion would eventually come over this way. And the pressure of that, the weight of that would help pull nails, and it would come down. The biggest issue would be how to keep it from coming down too fast and too hard. Which is probably doing some things with stiff knees and having enough hands on it to keep it from just getting loose. As a piece that has been built, it's sturdy. They didn't come in and just tack it. They've got these things within the wood, so it's tight. And I feel like it'll hold tight. So my thought is that this 50-foot section can come down. I can put it on its top. That basic top is flat up there. That crown molding's not sticking way up in the air by itself. That'll support it. I can take it over onto its top and roll it out of here on pipes out the front door and onto a very, very long trailer or something like it because, again, 50 feet long. That leaves this base. The base isn't anything special, but I feel like it was probably original to it. And once that top's off of there, I don't think it's hard at all to get it out of here. And in fact, the whole thing's probably going to be a whole lot easier if I just go ahead and decide that portion right there is an add-on, not original to this. Rip it out so that I can use that space to get back behind it and try to use that space also to control the fall. So 50 feet of that one, and there's probably another 40 feet on the other wall. And it's the same setup, the same base, the same top, and the same weird little add-on right there. On this one, though, it looks like they probably cut off that crown at the top. They didn't do that on the other side, but I still feel like that's what they've done, is that you can see that double half round molding that's right there, which is like, just like what you see on the other side. And they got that corner off there, put that in there and took it straight up to the glass. Whereas this is the comparison right there. Originally, I think this probably ran the whole edge of this wall. You would have seen it die out into the wall with the gap back there, and then sometime after the fact they came in and took that space in for a really small office and now a bathroom, but I doubt they had that window in there as their bathroom. So with that said, this one will do the same thing. I may have to sacrifice the bathroom, probably sacrifice that in down there with the thought that, again, it's not original, and then this whole thing hinges down, and fingers crossed it's tight enough to where I can get some things to help stabilize it on the front and on the back to help it not move. Feel like it's probably knotty pine, and it's probably a knotty pine from somewhere not around here, and that would go to the thought that it's not from around here. If you look at it from underneath, I don't think it's just regular pine. I can't really give you, well, maybe, but it doesn't look like the 1916 pine that I know. And maybe I could do some more investigating on that and put it in front of somebody who's got a little better idea, but that's my initial thought.